Savior. Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior. Another Savior. Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving fast now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right, holy, holy, never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior. Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior. Another Savior. Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo.
And there it is, one name. So Christmas, Bah Humbug, Christmas, what Christmas? What does that even mean? I'm not a Palestinian, so not Bah Humbug, go enjoy your Christmas. I will enjoy mine later. We're just about half an hour breaking into Christmas where I am. You'll say, you this guy, do you even have a life? But there it is. Here we are. Thank you for being here. So it's a back-to-back session, as a lot of you may know. It's a back-to-back session because we had a surprise session with an Abuja property expert, which went excellently. So that's documented, and we have that bagged and tagged. But the original episode that was meant to go on today, so that's been pushed back. So that's what's now happening now. So we had that surprise interaction with Big Wheels, who talked us through the property market in Abuja. So that's documented, and I'll encourage you to go and watch it. But what was originally scheduled for today is where we are now. So there it is, a back-to-back session. So a back-to-back session. So the usual protocol, click on the like button as you're coming in. Click on subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If you want to come join me on the screen, you know the 411. Click on that hyperlink that says StreamYard, brings you into a studio space. As soon as I've finished reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen and I'll engage you in a conversation. And then, of course, if you want to donate towards the platform, click on this hyperlink that says buy your host cups of coffee and go there and go wild. Don't be derisory. And apologies to Ayo, by the way. He did that in the earlier session. So the 100% of that buy the coffee has still been maintained, only really maintained by the person that really maintains it. So thank you, Ayo, for that. So, but it's not exclusive to Ayo. Other people can join him and buy the platform Endless Cups of Coffee. So click on like, that's mandatory. Click on subscribe if you haven't already, that is compulsory. At your discretion, if you want to come join me on the screen, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard, brings you into the studio. Soon as I finish reading out the talking points, then I'll let you in. So that's optional. And then of course, buy your host Endless Cups of Coffee. So that's optional too. That's at your discretion too. So that's the holy song. So let's get straight into it. So to the headlines, Jubril of Sudan, President Buhari finally spills on his rumored death. So this is a narrative that has been hanging around the Buhari presidency for the last, pretty much for the duration of his presidency, and still till today, by the way. There are still some die-hard Southeasterners that still insist, even though Nnamdi Kanu himself has abandoned that space, there are still some die-hard Easterners that still till this very moment that I'm talking to you, this very, very moment that I'm talking to you, there are still some die-hard Easterners that will still tell you that Buhari is Jubril at Sudani. So he finally speaks on that space, no doubt from a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia, where Nnamdi Kanu told us he now resides. Jubril of Sudan, President Buhari finally spills on his rumored death. So let's see how he takes that. Is he taking it with humor or with anger? We find out shortly. SSS deploys operatives to arrest Godwin Emefiele on site. So corruption now looking to end this man's life. I fear for his mortal being, the way they are going after this guy. And by the way, it is rumored that he's already back in Nigeria. Even there's an organization even that has written a letter to the Interpol to arrest him. Group writes Interpol wants central bank governor Emefiele extradited back to Nigeria to face prosecution. So that's the travails of Emefiele, but it looks as though they don't have to search too far. Nigeria central bank governor Emefiele secretly returns from United States, hides away in Abuja as DSS intensifies move to arrest him for financing terrorism. So quite how Emefiele finances terrorism, this is really something really that we need to know, because it's as far removed from the profile of anybody that the Nigerian space suspects and expects to be financing terrorism as it possibly can be. It's as far removed from what we perceived a sponsor of terrorism to be, a financier of terrorism to be. It's as far removed from that as it possibly can be. So quite how they're able to rope him into that will be interesting. Buhari is very humorous. Should try comedy post. This is Oshibanjo. let me give you that again. Buhari is very humorous. Should try comedy post presidency. So that's what he said. So Oshibanjo then eulogizing about his oga. Buhari is very humorous. Should try comedy post presidency. The little man from Ikene doing Rankadede to the Malam from Daura. So there it is. That's the menu. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, click on like. If you're not already subscribed, please do that. If you want to join me on the screen, the hyperlink that says StreamYard, click on that. And then, of course, the coffee thing, you know what to do. So to all of that, so as you said about that, though, let me provide a little bit musical intermission before I do the readout. We are staying in the East still, and put on your dancing shoes then for a Python dance.
Oh, you do I pop. Oh, Mary, one in this Abakare, Mama Daora, Poli Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Poli Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Poli Mary Nnamdi bo onye du aimo o meri woni nizu ngiro ya Abakare Mama Daora Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi.
All right, there it is. Nnamdi wins the war. Of course he has. Of course he has won the war. So Nnamdi wins that. That was quite appropriate actually for the main headline. Pardon me. Nnamdi wins the war. As guys, I bring you this. Jubril of Sudan, President Buhari finally spills on his rumored death. During a documentary titled Celebrating a Patriot, a Leader, and Elder Statesman, during a documentary titled Celebrating a Patriot, a Leader, and Elder Statesman, aired on Friday, December the 23rd, at a private dinner organized by his family to celebrate his 80th birthday, President Buhari said the talk about Jubril was a joke taken too far, for which he did not find funny. So there it is. No, it wasn't perceived as a joke, essentially. So yes, during a documentary titled Celebrating a Patriot, a Leader, and Elder Statesman, aired on Friday, December the 23rd, at a private dinner organized by his family to celebrate his 80th birthday, President Buhari said the talk about Jubril was a joke taken too far, which he did not find funny. So there it is. The president sees the entire rumors as a ploy fabricated to distract Nigerians from the main issues at the time, which were basically infrastructural development and a good life for the citizens. In his view, some Nigerians have a way of creating humor to dwell on. Let me take this entirely again. I don't like the flow of how I'm reading it. I beg your pardon. During a documentary titled The Patriot, a Leader, and Elder Statesman, aired on Friday, December the 23rd, at a private dinner organized by his family to celebrate his 80th birthday, President Buhari said the talk about Jubril was a joke taken too far, which he did not find funny. The president sees the entire rumor as a ploy fabricated to distract Nigerians from the main issues at the time, which were basically infrastructural development and a good life for citizens. In his view, some Nigerians have a way of creating humor to dwell on when they lack understanding of some situations. He said, yes, people said I am somebody from Sudan. I did not bother with the name. Nigerians have mischievous ways of explaining themselves. No, it is not funny because those who made those statements, they just want to be cheeky. They want to distract attention from the main issues. Our main issue is to do with infrastructure. Make people aware that they need to work hard to live well. They just want to enjoy life without earning the respect of their community, and so on. So there it is, short and succinct. So that is Buhari then responding to Buhari then responding to the Nnamdi Kanu narrative. So essentially, he wanted to flog the wayward boy. That is what you read into that, isn't it? He essentially wanted to flog the wayward boy. Let's read it from another platform. See if there's more in it. It says President Buhari has described the claim that he had died and was replaced by Jubril from Sudan as a joke that was not funny. The president gave this reaction in a documentary shown at a dinner organized by his family and very close associates to celebrate his 80th birthday, tagged celebrating a patriot, a leader, an elder statesman at the presidential villa Abuja on Friday, December the 23rd. According to him, some Nigerians have a way of creating humor to feast on something they do not understand, saying the development was the handiwork of some mischief makers to demonstrate their cheekiness. Asked by interviewers if he heard about the crazy rumor a while back that it was not Buhari, he replied, yes, people said I am somebody from Sudan. I didn't bother with the name. Nigerians have mischievous ways of explaining themselves. Asked how he finds such jokes passed around, the president said, it is not funny because those who made those statements, they just want to be cheeky. They want to distract attention from the main issue. So that's Buhari finally then responding to that space, Jubril at Sudani. So I'm not quite sure if that satisfies, but of course there's some diehards, and we have elements like them even on this platform, people like Data O, who will still till today insist that Buhari is Sudan from Jubril. So from that to this, SSS deploys operatives to arrest Godwin Emefiele on site. The State Security Service SSS has started exercising a be on-site lookout for Governor Godwin Emefiele of the Central Bank of Nigeria, according to two officials familiar with the matter. Consequently, the Domestic Intelligence Office has deployed several officers to monitor the CBN headquarters, Emefiele's family residence in Lagos, and the Abuja home of businessman Christopher Emefiele, unrelated by blood, correspondents learned over the weekend. An SSS officer familiar with the matter said the deployment came from an assistant director and could not immediately say whether or not Director General Yusuf Bichi signed off on it. So I'll be staggered if an arrest warrant for Emefiele is out there and it doesn't have the consent of the Director General of the SSS. I'll be staggered, but then all things are possible in Nigeria, as you know. All things are possible in Nigeria, as you know. An SSS officer familiar with the matter said the deployment came from an assistant director and could not immediately say whether or not Director General Yusuf Bichi signed off on it. We have different teams of at least two each monitoring those places, the officer said under anonymity to disclose cursory specifics of an ongoing operation. We don't know if they have more people deployed to even more places, but we did not see any signal from the DG's office to suggest his involvement at this point. So the arrest warrant now, arrest on site, at least it's not yet shoot on site. The officers were still quietly monitoring the locations as of Saturday morning, correspondents were told. Christopher Emefiele did not comment on whether or not he had noticed the presence of state agents near his property. Mr. Emefiele's phone rang through. Emefiele's phone rang through on Saturday morning, and his wife Margaret declined a request seeking comments. The development comes as Mr. Emefiele's whereabouts became fuzzy after learning of an active threat to take him into custody by SSS. The agency unsuccessfully sought a warrant from the Federal High Court earlier this month, with a federal judge ruling that sufficient probable cause was not established for the issuance of a warrant against the sitting governor of the nation's bank and foremost regulator of the banking sector. In the application ex parte, an action filed to the exclusion of its defendant, the SSS asked the court to order Mr. Emefiele's arrest on account of terrorism financing and economic sabotage, amongst other nefarious acts. But Justice John Tuso said he did not see enough evidence in the SSS application and bemoaned the agency's failure to take him into confidence. So, it therefore seems that the application intends to use the court as a cover for an irregular procedure, which is not acceptable. Mr. Tuso, however, said the SSS could still take Mr. Emefiele in as part of his mandate as a federal law enforcement outfit. The CBN governor does not enjoy constitutional immunity from arrest or prosecution whilst in office. A CBN official said Mr. Emefiele had not been seen at work since he joined other top Nigerian officials who accompanied President Buhari to Washington, D.C. for a string of political and business engagements in the United States capital between the start of December and till date. Mr. Buhari returned to Abuja shortly after 5 a.m. December the 18th, but Mr. Emefiele remained out of public view. But officers suspected Mr. Emefiele was not in Nigeria and might linger abroad to avoid being arrested. But for how long Mr. Emefiele could remain in hiding or avoid stepping into Nigeria whilst running the central bank would ultimately rest with the president to decide. Justice Tuso said he weighed the economic ramifications before quashing the SSS's request to arrest Mr. Emefiele, but analysts said it was possible the allegations wide publicly could already take a negative toll on the economy without necessarily saying how steep at this point. A CBN spokesman declined to comment about Mr. Emefiele's whereabouts. The presidency has not commented on the matter. The CBN governor has seen support from civic groups, with many saying he has become the latest victim of power play ahead of the general elections due in February. Mr. Emefiele sought the presidential ticket of the ruling All Progressive Congress during primary season earlier this year, but later backed down after being told he must step down from office before engaging openly in partisan politics. He also recently issued a controversial directive that limited withdrawals from bank accounts to 100,000 naira per week. So it goes on and on to tell us all that. But now the news is now circling around Emefiele. The news is now circling around Emefiele. So I'll give you just a couple of paragraphs from this next one. Our group writes Interpol wants Central Bank Governor Emefiele extradited back to Nigeria for prosecution. A group Concerned Citizens of Conscience (CCC) has written International Criminal Police Organization Interpol demanding the immediate arrest of Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele. The group, in the letter dated the 23rd of December 2022, requested Interpol to arrest and extradite Emefiele, who is currently hiding in the United States of America, in his bid to abscond from facing the wrath of the law back in Nigeria. Copied in the letter was the Director General of the Department of State Services, Inspector General of Police, Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, United States Ambassador to Nigeria, British High Commissioner, Canadian Ambassador, and the European Union Commission, Abuja. Correspondents had exclusively reported how CBN boss refused to return to Nigeria amidst allegations of terrorism financing, and possible arrest and attention by the SSS. So there it is. So they've now written to Interpol looking for the arrest of this guy. But they need not write to Interpol, according to this next headline. Nigeria Central Bank Governor Emefiele secretly returns from the United States, hides away in Abuja, as SSS intensifies move to arrest him for financing terrorism. The governor of the central bank, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, returned to Nigeria on Wednesday from the United States of America and is presently in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, but has kept himself away from public glare, correspondents have learned. Emefiele, who was part of President Buhari's entourage to the United States/Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C., had earlier been reported to be contemplating returning to Nigeria amidst a plot by the SSS to pick him up for interrogation. Buhari had last Sunday returned to Abuja from the summit held between the 13th and the 15th of December. Multiple sources had told correspondents that Emefiele was scheduled to return to the country on Wednesday. He, however, told the CBN board on Wednesday that he would return to Abuja on Thursday. Meanwhile, on Saturday, a top source informed correspondents that Emefiele indeed returned on Wednesday and is currently in Abuja. Emefiele is in Abuja. He arrived on Wednesday, the source affirmed. Correspondents earlier today reported that DSS operatives were reportedly on the lookout for the CBN governor after an order to arrest him on site was given. Two DSS officials familiar with Emefiele's matter had confirmed that Domestic Intelligence Office of the DSS had deployed several officers to monitor the CBN headquarters, Emefiele's family residence in Lagos, and the Abuja home of businessman Christopher Emefiele, unrelated by blood, according to correspondents. Correspondents had also reported that there were strong indications on Thursday that Emefiele was under intense pressure from some of the country's power brokers to resign. One of the sources close to the Apex governor, to the Apex Bank, I should say, one of the sources close to the Apex Bank governor confided in correspondents that he was living in fear of being arrested by the DSS. The DSS had recently accused Emefiele of aiding and abetting acts of terrorism. The security agency said the CBN governor was allegedly involved in funding of international and local terrorism. It said preliminary investigation revealed various acts of terrorism financing, fraudulent activities perpetrated by Emefiele, and his involvement in economic crimes of national security dimension. And then it goes on to tell us about the Abuja court. On Wednesday, despite his secret arrival, the CBN said Emefiele would not appear before the House of Representatives on Thursday as scheduled. A letter addressed to the House and read by the Speaker, Femi Gbadabe-Amila, during plenary, the Apex Bank said the governor was not yet back in the country because he was attending to an official engagement and health challenges abroad. Emefiele has refused to return to Nigeria, claiming heart ailment. He was supposed to return to Nigeria yesterday after traveling with Buhari to the United States for the African United States Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. So it goes on to somewhat conflicting and contradictory storylines, but there it is. So conflicting and contradicting storylines. So we'll read you this last one and then we'll shut it down almost certainly, unless there's anyone there. Buhari is very humorous, should try comedy post-presidency. So this is Yemi Osinbajo licking Buhari's behind till the very last. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says his principal, President Muhammad Buhari, is hilarious and would make a good comedian when he retires in 2023. Mr. President is a very humorous man, and I think he would make a very good career in entertainment one way or the other when he retires, Mr. Osinbajo said. The vice president made this statement on Friday whilst proposing a toast to Mr. Buhari at the president's 80th birthday dinner held at the State House Banquet Hall. Mr. Osinbajo further narrated how the president humorously calmed him down when he was upset about an allegation leveled against him. One day I went to him because there were some allegations that were made against him, and I was so angry. So I went to him to show him the letter I had written to the EFCC to investigate. He looked at it and looked at me, and because he called me VP or professor, depending on his mood, this time he said, "VP, why do you worry yourself about all these people? These people just make all these sort of allegations. They make all sorts of stories up, even when they are saying that I am about to get married again." So you remember that little cameo when it was rumored that Buhari was going to get married to Sadiya Farouk, and Aisha Buhari came rushing back hurriedly from London. So this time he said, "VP, why do you worry yourself about all these people? These people just make up all sorts of allegations. They make up all sorts of stories. Even they said that I am about to get married. And even some foolish people were waiting at the National Mosque, waiting for me to come and marry again," Mr. Osinbajo said. Mr. Buhari's tenure will elapse on the 25th of May, 2023. The octogenarian has severally said he would retire to his farm in Daura, Katsina once he leaves Aso Rock. So there it is. What's his name? Yemi Osinbajo trying to somewhat humanize Buhari. So it's only you and me, Solomon. So to you then, Solomon. So are you there, Solomon?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, all right. So to it then, Solomon. This thing then, Buhari finally responding to that Jubril at Sudani space, and it's not taking it with any humor. Essentially saying that if he had gotten his hands on what's that? Are you outside?
No, I'm inside.
I had some beeping noise, some heavy beeping of a car.
Yeah, it was my other phone. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Yeah, so Buhari essentially saying that if he had gotten his hands on Nnamdi Kanu, then he would have given him a good flogging. So what are you then making then of Buhari responding finally to the Jubril at Sudani narrative?
Yeah. Before now, the past administrations have always advised, like Obasanjo, when this guy was in seat, Goodluck Jonathan was in seat, Nnamdi Kanu started this agitation of a thing. Obasanjo told him he should ignore it, and he should not pay attention to it. Like he should just behave like nothing is going on, of which he did. And Nnamdi Kanu did not get the recognition like the way he has gotten it now. Then it's not like the agitation he's doing is wrong. There is right to agitate. There is right to agitate, and because the marginalization is too much in, especially with the Igbo people in Nigeria, it's too much on us. So Buhari now came in and every little thing, because of the level of hatred he have, there is no doubt he hates Ndi Igbo in Nigeria. He hates them so much. Even look at the kind of the kind of sentence he made during his interview one time, or his he was announcing also. Okay, it was an interview when he said that he called the dot in the circle and that he will bring back, he will treat them back the way we were treated during the Biafran War, because he was part of the generals. He was one of the generals that led the Nigerian army to fight the Biafran War. So you see the kind of statement this guy makes, and it's not really good. So Nnamdi Kanu saying something. One thing I like today now, I've just since yesterday I've been wondering, because there are some propagandas I've seen people, most people, especially these people on YouTube that like carrying fake news. And if you check them, they are mostly of they are mostly from the southeast. People that they want their YouTube channel to sell and blogs. They will just be carrying fake news, as in it's really, really annoying. It's like it's not making sense at all. So Buhari now saying I wanted to flog the boy. He would have. I don't think he could. He would have the balls even till now. Say Nnamdi Kanu is in the prison. He's in he's not in prison. Sorry, in the DSS as in the detention. They can't do anything to him because it's going to really cause havoc in the country, and it's going to. He can't yet lay a finger on Nnamdi Kanu.
Is
Yeah, he can't try.
Solomon? Sorry
Yeah.
to putting him in there is not flogging already. All this while.
No, see, let me tell you, that one is kind of how do I put it? Is a kind of I don't want to say is a touch that is flogging or torture, but
Because obviously,
it's
I
not like
just believe if Buhari has said, "Oh, you feel like flogging that boy," there are several ways you could flog that boy, not necessarily taking a cane and flogging him. Me, I believe he's even flogging him already, locking
no,
him up
it's not.
for 2.
Yeah, the flogging is just this one. Is just like I think he just spoke in idiomatic, like in an
Yeah,
idiomatic
didn't he say
expression.
what about Oshibanjo said that the guy should
Yeah,
start being a comedian after his presidency? He's just trying to be funny, but he's already flogging him. As I am, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's been flogged already, and still on that, he's still receiving that stroke to God knows when. You know,
yeah,
carry on, my brother.
yeah, but yeah, it's still is yeah. Anyway, it's true though, but I know he can't go more than this one he has just done, and in this case now, like the United Kingdom, UN has already said he should make sure that he releases this guy and all that. It's just because of how Nigeria is a sovereign state, but the level of illegality in Nigeria is too much that I sorry to still go down to the Obi lane. That's why I still say somebody like Obi cannot win the election, because this place here they believe no matter how I see people jubilating and happy and celebrating that Buhari has amended the electoral law and all those kind of things. I'll be like, wow. So you put hope on this electoral law and all this shit. You should not do like that. You can even see Castina the way they are shouting PDP, even burning brooms in PDP in Castina there. You know that this country is not about doing the right thing. As long as this country, people that the powers that be in this country, they don't believe in the right thing, they believe in what will favor them. And it's not about because we are together. I just look at people shouting, we need to do things right, and they don't know that the other side of people who are dealing with are not even after those doing things right. So Buhari now, he did not try at all. He's not he in this statement he made, like he would have flogged he would have wanted to flog that boy. He can't do anything more than this thing he has done now, and he's going to still pay in a way for this or that for extraditing this guy illegally too. Yeah.
He's not going to pay anything. I'm sorry to say. He's just going to retire to Buhari, and he'll surround himself with soldiers. And if you even come within 10 miles of his house, they will shoot you. That's just it.
Why are you saying they will shoot me? Am I the one
No, no,
going
no, no,
process?
not you personally. Anybody that
I
comes
know, I know. I'm just
within
joking. I'm just joking.
anybody that comes.
But Solomon, Solomon, I have a
I,
question for you.
by the way, Solomon, Merry Christmas. I forgot to say
Yeah,
that it's Christmas time
yeah.
now.
Me,
By
self,
the
it
Yeah,
just went through my mind. I wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody on the platform.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Solomon, yeah, quick one. Merry Christmas, everyone. So, this question for you: if you are Buhari, do you think you will want to even release Nnamdi Kanu before election? An election is just less than 2 months. If you look at it, I don't think they will release that guy before
Let me tell you
election.
something. If let me tell you, if Buhari is not a politician and he doesn't reason. Sorry to say, he's the president of the country, but see, if he's a politician, if he's somebody like Tinubu, I believe he might even release Nnamdi Kanu because he's going to, especially as if he's somebody who is a politician and is a party man, he would release somebody like Nnamdi Kanu for him to go. I'm not talking as a Southeastern. I'm talking now as somebody who is not even from the Nigerian space, like we're just discussing about. You get, he will release Nnamdi Kanu, to because of the kind of thing he's doing. Go, okay, since you feel like no, go to your place, do what you want to do. Nnamdi Kanu going to his place now is going to go and cause obstruction of for this election totally because they've said no election in Biafra land and all those kind of. He's going to make him, in fact, somebody like Obina, he would destabilize his base. Do you get? And even with the base now being with Obi self, he's not even sure of getting into that of even winning the election. But Buhari is not being strategic, and he's not a politician. Yeah,
Really,
he's not.
Solomon, really, I don't think I really agree with you. I get what you are trying to say, but
Yeah.
I think it's even being strategic not to release him now. Even though if he
How?
wants to release him, he might release him close to swearing in time. Maybe after the election, they already know who won. Then he will release him before he leaves the office. But if he release him now, they might disrupt the election more. He doesn't know
It's
what
just
will
only in
happen.
the
They,
southeast,
he
though.
said, let me tell you how I think these guys think. Now, what they would think is, we've locked this guy up for how many months now? It's 2 months to election. We can't underestimate this guy from what we've seen so far. Even with him being locked up, there is still trouble going up with IPOB in the east there. So they would think, okay, one or two, let's keep this guy there, even though we release him. Because at the end of it, if you look at it, they don't even have any reason to say keep him inside that detention right now. But I just think they are trying to just hold him there till after election. Because I think it's more risky to release him now. It's better to keep him there now until after election. For them, it is better than for them to release it now.
I don't think this administration will be releasing Nnamdi Kanu. I think they will lift it. They will leave it as a gift for the so that
Coming,
the
incoming, yeah.
so that they can use it as something to start on a good footing. So
That's
Nnamdi
another way
Kanu
to look
will
at
be.
it. Yeah.
That's just what I think. Of yeah,
Yeah, that's another way. Yeah.
as a
It's still
present for
first, like
the
what I'm
yeah
saying. It's
yeah.
just going to be after the election. Maybe after the election, maybe after swearing in or before swearing in,
Yeah, but it's
or
not before
whichever
the
one.
election.
It's not before the election. I don't
That
think
will
so.
never
I don't think
happen.
I want to take that risk. Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's any violence post the election, they won't release him either. But no, I think the incoming will release him. Thank you. So Solomon, let me take you to the space then. Emefiele, the DSS, they've now circled around these houses all over Nigeria, and an arrest on site order now given. So what are you making of that space? They're accusing him of being a financier of terrorism. But he doesn't fit the profile within the Nigerian understanding of somebody that would be the sponsor of terrorism. So what are you making of that Emefiele space? Arrest on site, now the order from DSS.
Wow, this is really crazy. Like I said, in Nigeria here, they dwell on illegality. On what ground now? Like, what do they have concrete evidence now to nail this guy with this allegation now that they are trying to they're laying on him now, that they're saying about him. They don't have concrete evidence, and they're already, just because you can see now how their emotions have already gotten high, just because of the policies this guy introduced just some days back. And now their emotions.
Not only do they not have any concrete evidence, they don't have any evidence at all. Because what we're hearing, they went to court to ask the court to give them the window to arrest him, and the court said to them that you've not given me any reason why I should allow you to arrest this guy. So you just go and arrest him since you are a police. So there's no evidence to arrest him. But do you think they will ultimately force him to back down from the new Naira? I won't be surprised if they remove the new Naira, or because that seems to be the space that offends them.
No, they can't. It's not possible. What are we? And the Nigerian citizens, are they fools, or are we people that don't know anything, that you just come? These people should. In fact, this APC government, they are just the dullest. The dullest. The administration is the dullest administration. Like the cabinet in this administration, they are the dullest people. Sorry to say, because the kind of lies or the kind of things that they do, and just come and rub it in front of the city, as in face of the citizen, like these people don't reason. I don't understand. How will you've already passed that law that you're changing the Naira, you're redesigning the Naira note, and just because, if they should do anything like that, that these people are really.
Solomon, I'm only suggesting that because that seems to be the only thing that has changed, that has now led to all of the things that they are alleging against him. He has been corrupt for the last 10 years. That's not, that seems to be something that was okay with them, and nobody thinks that is sponsoring any terrorism. So that's just complete nonsense. So what has changed for this now to have this sudden urgency that we have? So the only thing that has changed is him changing that Naira. I think it's the people that stockpile money that are now,
Not just only that Naira redesigning of the Naira, to the limit, the withdrawal limit of, now they've increased to 500K. Normally people withdraw more than this in a week, even more than that in a day. So that one too is part of the reasons why they will still go against this guy. I even feel like it's even the withdrawal process that is the major reason, the main reason why they are going against this guy, because election is around the corner.
You mean they won't be able to get money out for the? Oh yes, I think you're right. Carry on. Yeah.
Yes. It's not even the redesigning of, like somebody made in that real estate the section you just held now 20 minutes ago or some minutes ago. You heard when that guy said that people use backdoor in the bank they go through backdoor in the bank to change the currency, and which is true. In fact, most of these politicians you see that get flagged, I just feel like maybe it's their colleague or opposition that have info and that flags them. But this is Nigeria. Even an individual that is not even into politics can maneuver and get this new currency. So it is the withdrawal limit that is a major problem. Yeah, it is the withdrawal limit that is a major problem why these people are behaving like this and doing this thing they are doing now. So Emefiele has not, in this scenario, in this allegation now, he hasn't done anything wrong, but he's a corrupt man, and they should search better, they should dig better for something else to use and nail him, not saying he's sponsoring terror, like he's into terrorism and all that.
Hold on, Ola, because this there's something called a pincer movement. So a pincer movement is you chase them from this side and then you hem them in at that side.
Chess player.
So it's actually a military tactic. That's a pincer movement. So what he has done is he has changed the Naira notes, and then he has limited the amount of monies that you can take out. So the politician now, he has nowhere to go. He cannot just take his money to the bank and change it and take out the So they can't take out the rigging money and they can't use the old money they've stockpiled because that's no longer currency. So it's hem them in.
He has really destabilized. He has destabilized and paralyzed their strategy for this election. That is when it comes to the financial aspect. You know, the financial aspect is the bedrock of this election. Will be the bedrock of the election. This with the finance, as in money is going to be spent. You can even see how these politicians, even as Obi movement has come up, them themselves, these guys are very, 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 very smart guys that I don't even think they're really playing the money politics now. Maybe I feel like they're waiting for the election era. Like,
Solomon,
in fact, yeah.
Have you heard of Onye Tara Unku Ahuhu? Say Ngwere Biara Ya Ungu. Do you know what that means?
What did you just speak? It sounds like Igbo, but you're not speaking it well.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, Onye Tara Unku Ahuhu Si Ngwere Biara Ya Ungu. Do you know what it means?
It doesn't mean anything in any language. Look at this guy.
I don't want to stress I know that what you're trying to say.
You mean happy Christmas?
No, somebody that eats ungu in front of lizard and something. It's just that you're not speaking it well.
My Igbo accent will be different from yours. Of course. But let me tell you what it means. It means a person who brings home ant-infested firewood should expect a visit from lizard.
Yes.
So this right? I will use this to address that Nnamdi Kanu's matter and this Emefiele, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at Nnamdi Kanu's matter, right? I believe when you put the metaphorical definition of what I just read, a person who brings home ant-infested firewood should expect a visit from the lizard. It means, at the nascent stages of Nnamdi Kanu's agitation, he was enabled, right? And then it got to a crescendo that they couldn't tame it. So basically, he made a lot of money, tons of money out of that. He learned from his mentor then, Ralph Wazurike. So he basically took it further. And then what Simon Ekpa is doing now is an offshoot of what Nnamdi Kanu did. So it's like more or less like you have an app, then you just basically update the app.
Mr. Enigmatic, sorry to interject. I want to. There's something I want to let you people know. I don't know why people just come and say these guys are extorting. These people are not. See, do you know? Have you heard of ESN?
Mm-hmm.
See, what the only thing I'm against in a way in this movement is there are some kind of
no, I'm not saying they are extorting though. I think you should get
okay,
it right.
Okay, go on then, since because I thought that was the narrative.
I don't know if extorting should be the right language, but I can tell you these folks are making good money out of this.
And they are using it for the region. That is one thing I want to let you know. Yeah.
So
how are they using it for the region? Is that
one man.
The Ferrari that Simon Ekpa is driving in Norway?
Simon Ekpa has always been. So see, it's just like these guys.
Solomon, do you know how much they make in dollars? If you know how much they make, you'll probably be the next in line to Simon Ekpa, or if you see their account. So what I'm saying is that at the time they were supposed to be tamed, when the politicians were supposed to call them out, if you look at what's his name now, the governor of Ondo State, he called out the Yoruba Nation yesterday, and you could see that the Yoruba Nation arrow, the henchman, prof, I think he stepped down already because there are already some political arrangement behind the scene. So when you allow this kind of renegades to fester for a certain time, they assume that
enigmatic. He didn't step down, no, he just changed position.
Enigmatic. No, he did not change position, he stepped down. Sorry, Ajale Koko. The leader of the Ilana Omodua, Professor Banji Akitoye, he has stepped down from his position and to be replaced by his deputy. We covered it a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the political arrangement that is responsible for?
No, the political arrangement that I'm speaking to is that you do not see the tacit approval of the political space, unlike when Nnamdi Kanu was all over the space and everybody, the people that are supposed to actually come out, viciously and ferociously against him, they were quiet one way or the other. And even when you look at IPOB and the Biafra space now, some people are still quiet up to now. So when you allow that kind of a situation, of course, you wouldn't expect nothing less than what you are getting now. That is by the side. Then Emefiele, right? If you know Emefiele very well, you won't really feel sorry for him. So that proverb speaks to those two spaces. Emefiele was riding high and short with the politicians. He lives in Texas here. He lives in the US. Okay, if you know Emefiele very well, he's part of the cabal. Very, very close to.
Of course.
Very, very close to the late Abba Kyari. In fact, Abba Kyari was instrumental to Emefiele, continuing in office. He's probably going to be the longest serving CBN governor, if I'm not wrong, right? So what he's getting now is getting the part of political slap that he deserves. And
so, enigmatic. I even believe that we should not doubt the CSS or DSS until they cannot prove themselves. See, it is not everything that all these security agencies tell us that we should just wave, just like that. You see, one thing is this. If Emefiele overnight is suddenly charged because of the upcoming election, you know the right thing to do. What a power the spate of kidnapping and terrorism going on in the country since this day. Are we saying the CBN is short of brains to know how to change the currency for almost 5 years? Yes, you may have political that too. But what stops the same brain, application of that brain that Emefiele is using now? What stops him from tracing the root of those people that have been taking our people for ransom for more than 5 years? That is just now.
No, hold on, enigmatic. Hold on, enigmatic. So, Ola, you say that narrative is all right, but that's something that could have been said all the way through for the last 6-7 years. So, but what makes it political is why now, So all of those things that you have said, there are things that have been at the backdrop of the whole space for the last, at least 6 years. So for all of those reasons you've listed, they could have done these things over the last 6 years. But now that this guy is making quite some seismic moves within the economic space, now there's an immediate urgency to arrest him. So that's where it doesn't cohere, and that's where
I know. What I'm just saying is this: let us keep demanding the DSS to show us the proof. See, I don't care. Even if
hold on. Forget all that. The court asked the DSS to show them sufficient enough reasons for them to grant. Hold on now. The court asked the DSS to show them sufficient enough reasons to grant an ex parte, and they couldn't, and they threw it out of court. So there has to be at least enough substance to convince a senior judge, and there wasn't any. So it's just politically motivated. Carry on.
Wama, the whole thing is both Emefiele action is also politically motivated. It's not to help common Nigeria. We have so many large portions of Nigeria where you don't even have internet to operate your bank account, and you are forcing people to bring out their money to come and open account. And when they cannot even access, the possibility of them accessing their own money to use their money is very difficult. In some part, they don't even have light. So, my dear, all these things are just politically motivated. It's not for the interest of Nigeria. And those guys are telling you, look, you can't block our campaign. We are going to deal with you. So, and this is what I believe. And he is just like a cat that know how to steal dry fish. And at the same time, he wants other people to remain in hunger. So he's going to suffer dearly for it. They have enough proof. When they arrest him, they will provide the proof. the proof. He's not a good person. That's just the truth.
All right. Let me acknowledge that polls super chat. It says Buhari will release Nnamdi Kanu on the 31st of December 2022. So thank you for the super chat. But I'm not quite sure how you landed there. But thank you for the super chat. Nevertheless,
it's not coming out.
Yeah. So
the next administration is in power.
All right. Carry on, Solomon.
Then there will be no election. Good evening, everybody.
No. Sorry. Before we get there, Tony, let's carry on, Solomon. Yeah.
I'm not trying to defend or show sympathize with Emefiele, but in just I'm talking about as in the way these guys, the politicians, it's not just the politicians, these APC people, the way they play their politics, the way they come out with their fake, with their propaganda and all that is very, very crazy. With their fake stories is really crazy. Like it just make everybody in Nigeria look dumb, like they don't know what they are doing. Yeah. So and even with the Emefiele, the money he changed, the previous design is far better than this current one this new one he just changed. This one is just like fake on its own. It's something that they are bringing from CBN, but you will just lose hope in especially the 1,000 naira is absolute fake. Like it's not even looking like for real money without value.
How is it fake?
One man, if you should see this, if you should they should give you this money, like you should come as in get to get this money, you would just this currency, you would just be ashamed of the fact that you're from that is your country that this is your country's notes. It's really crazy. Like it's not no.
You mean
does it not have the value? Does it not have the value of 1,000 naira?
Which value? Even with the look self alone, you'll be ashamed.
You mean just the quality look?
Yes, the quality of the quality of the money, the quality look, of the money, the way of the currency, the way it looks, of the notes. I mean, the way
it looks like when you soak some color cloth with what is it called, bleach.
see, let me tell you, the fake of the previous currency. Yeah,
Solomon, it's not the material. It's not the material that matters. It's the what that matters.
Exactly.
I remember I remember when the world used to, Nigeria or whatever, used to use what's it called, calories as a means of money. It's the what that matters. You can get calories from the sea, but it's still used. It's the same meaning of it. So it don't necessarily put it like it doesn't have a quality. As long as it's 1,000 naira, if you give it to somebody and buy something of 50 naira, they'll give you 950. That's what matters.
Dex, see, let me tell you, I am not talking about the value of the money. I am talking about the notes, the physical look of the note. It's not about the value. I'm not dumb to not to know or differentiate the value, and I'm just talking about the notes as in the way it is. You are from America, you come from America, or you live in America, and you see how smart, how good looking the American. It's not like I'm trying to idolize. No, I'm just, these things are practical. Is something we should talk about. It's something that we should try and evaluate this present note and the previous note. This one looks too fake. I'm telling you the
Honestly,
truth. It looks too
I
fake.
agree with you, Solomon. I think the previous note is better than this new
It's
one.
far better than this one.
And apparently, this is the season where people bring out fake notes. So it's easy to even do the fake notes. So it's been alarming now that people are spending fake notes, even in clubs and all that they are calling
the similarity.
See,
let me tell you, you can't differentiate fake notes and the real notes. The only thing you can differentiate it with, except you are somebody who is very observant, and you have to bring down your eyes and see there is this green triangular stuff in that the original note bears. Yeah, of course. That is how, and it's not everybody that will be too careful to
And
observe.
is it true, Solomon? Is it true that they say people are not accepting it? That even
Of
most
course,
places they are
They
not
said
of course,
somebody.
accepting it.
They said somebody was beaten up for trying to spend it. That he was spending fake money.
One lady like that. Is it one lady? I saw one lady.
One man, the money look like when you soak colored cloth with bleach. You know how it's going to be. Now, so the money be
Kampala,
like tie and
Kampala,
dye, like say
Kampala.
that tie
No,
and dye.
one voice at a time now, please. Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, like tie and dye, that kind of process. It looks as if that was the process they use in making this money. It's not about the value. It's about, I'm talking about the currency as itself, like the design that they said he claimed that he has redesigned the money. Is not something I can just manage. The 500, I can just the 200, even the 200, the two critical ones that
Have you held any of it in your hand?
yes,
Have you had contact with it? Yeah.
yes, especially the 1,000. I was very, very ashamed of that money, this new design. To be honest with you, it's not something.
The durability might even be in question. So that kind of money, as you are telling me now, Solomon, if you mistakenly wash it with your clothes, so the thing go tear into pieces, or what?
It looks like what might have not. It looks like something that, like I said, now it looks like what the process in coloring that money was tie and dye process, even though that was not the process. But that is what it looks like, and it looks like something that might wash, and something that might, it can get torn easily.
It looks like a
something
cheap,
like that.
it's cheap to produce it.
And he said he used
quality
62 million or 62 billion to print
and
those money. Man, that guy is a thief.
200 and something billion.
I think as that country is, knowing the way Nigerians is with business, with money, if you're even producing money, you should be factoring in durability, especially because the way we even handle money in that country is crazy. And with the look of that note, it doesn't look like it's durable at all. It looks like something that could just rip.
Have you hold on? Have you handled it yourself, D?
Yeah. My mom came just last week. My mom came back from Nigeria last week. I saw it.
He would have even done I think polymers or something like that, like those 20 naira.
Like the 20 naira, yeah.
That's what he would have done to this one.
To read.
I remember when those polymer came out, and once it tears, and if it has sellotape on it, then nobody will collect it. I don't know
but
if
at least it's true. No, but it's better for this new 1,000 naira note he redesigned. He would have done it that way.
Even
that
tape you're
talking about, that tape you're
talking about, the reason why you say American dollar, even if I put it in my I put it in a washer and wash it, it doesn't tear and all that, is because the money is basically circulating. America, you don't hardly have money at hand for that long. Do you get? Yeah. But in Nigeria, a lot of people can hold money for like months and months. Before you know it, the money will tear, and we're talking about it's not durable or whatever. For America, there's a lot of circulation. They print money, the old money goes back and they print it back again. So the money, basically, most of them are still fresh and new. So let's not try to, Nigeria is still our country, and no matter what we say, that money is not, I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing is that people are just trying to, I would say that they're trying to get used to the difference of it. Before, let's say 5-6 months now, all this stuff is not going to come out. It's going to be normal. Everything is going to be normal. I remember when those silicon whatever came out, everybody's like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Are we now using waterproof as a money? You get? Before you know it, everybody used to it. So let's try to leave all the stuff.
One man, please, can I just interject a bit for 10 seconds?
I wanted to move on because I want to make it a short session.
Just 10 seconds, 10 seconds,
sir.
10 seconds.
Carry on. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Des, this guy is speaking from the sport. This guy lives in Nigeria. Me and you, we are living in abroad. We don't have
I'm
we
in
don't have
I'm
right
in
to be challenging
Nigeria,
people.
Is
brother.
in
I'm
Lagos.
in Nigeria,
And
right?
the DOG, no, forget about that woman. He's
Listen,
just a visitor.
I've seen
But
the
look at
money.
DOG
I've
now. DOG
touched it.
also saw this money firsthand. The moment see the mother
I'm
came.
telling you that I've seen the money. I've
I know,
touched
but
it.
you are not
I've
living
seen
there. You are not going
100,
to be. You see, you are not
200,
stable there. This
1,000.
guy is speaking from the spot. That's from the spot, my brother. Please, thank you.
No,
Yeah, yeah, he's just making his own
but
point of view. It's not like
Are you getting what
I
I'm saying? I'm in
he,
Lagos right now. That's what I'm telling you. I'm in
I
Lagos. I'm
know,
in
I know,
Nigeria.
but you're not going to be there for that long. You know what I'm saying? But this guy has been living there. You know the difference.
Hold on. What difference are you talking about? Des visits Nigeria regularly. Is in Nigeria now. Is handled both the old note and the new note, and is saying that the new note is not that bad. The value of the currency remains the value of the currency, and it's people just being somewhat resistant to change. That after they've handled it for a few months, they'll just get used to it, and it will not be an issue. So what's wrong with that?
I think the best is that they should arrest this guy. They should, because
God.
they should arrest that guy. That you see that it's already in exile anyway.
All right. Thank you, and thank you, Solomon. So for time, let me move on. Let me go to Desmond. Let me go to Desmond only because it's in Nigeria, and I like to prioritize people in Nigeria. So Desmond, let me start you off from where the conversation starts off. The Nnamdi Kanu space. Buhari finally responds to that Jubril at Sudani narrative, and is saying he's not at all amused. And even if he had gotten his hands on the wayward guy from Anambra, Koboko lashes would have rained. So what are you then making of the Aboki from Daura finally responding to the wayward man from wherever?
The wayward man from Abia.
From Abia, the wayward man from Abia.
For me, one man, he's still Jubril. That's their business.
Yeah, that it is.
Jubril.
Yes, we don't change you. See your face.
What man?
Naja don't touch.
Sorry. Can I say something?
No. Give Des a moment to land because carry on.
Des, but doing that Jubril, doing that Jubril news that Nnamdi Kanu was basically trying to make everybody believe. I would say that I almost believed it, because he actually made a lot of sense. If you were watching it and you were trying to follow him up, if you followed him up that much, you're gonna believe him, because some people know how to sell stuff. So I believed it, but with time I'm like, no, I'm more educated than this, and I read into the whole stuff. But I think Buhari did a good job trying to respond. He's actually been quiet about it for a long time, and a lot of people, a lot of Biafrans are still, I'm telling you, a lot of Biafrans still believe that it's not Buhari, it's still basically Jubril. So maybe him responding to it is gonna change their mind, do you get, and try to persuade them to vote in 2023, because I feel like once they know that this man is not Jubril, is Buhari, they're like, you know what, let's vote for Peter B and all that stuff. So it's good that he came out to respond to that issue that's been wrangling around for a long time.
Do you think it was that? Do you think it was that Jubril narrative that irritated him to the point to sanction the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu?
I would say a bit of it, because remember one man, that was the period that this shit happened, when the Jubril whole thing was escalating. That he started threatening Nnamdi Kanu, started trying to do all that stuff. So it now made a lot of people to basically believe, all this thing hasn't been all this time that Nnamdi Kanu has been talking, talking stuff and saying stuff that are bad about him. He didn't really respond that much. But when the Jubril scenario came outside, he started like being more of violent towards the situation. So people are like, okay, you know what, this might be actually true. So I think it's probably one of it. It's not the only, I don't think it's the only thing. I think the next thing is probably people around him that are is basically trying to advise him on how to follow the issue in order not to lead into the second civil world war. People are trying to like tell him, if you leave this guy, it's going to lead to a second civil world war. That's basic. I think that's the reason why he did what he did.
All right, brilliant. And to the Emefiele space, what do you think is propelling that space? I think we can discount any idea of Emefiele being the sponsor of terror or funding terror. But what do you think is propelling this now, this new urgency, where they are asking Interpol to arrest him and they are putting DSS agents at all border posts to kidnap him? So what do you think is propelling this move against Emefiele?
First of all, do they even know where he is? That's the first
No, he's in
question.
the United States, we know.
Are they sure?
But now they tell us he's back in Nigeria secretly, but
I don't think nobody knows where he is. He's probably, I mean, nobody have seen his video footage of showing that he's so place or so place. So I think I'm not trying to, everything I'm saying about the money and all that, it's not that I'm trying to defend the Emefiele. He's a criminal. That's the truth. He might he might have changed the money to cover up whatever, how much ever he stole from Nigeria. I don't know the whole truth, but I'm not the law. I'm not a judge. So I'm not gonna come here and basically put out a propaganda on what I don't know. What I know is that they are looking for him, and if they find him, he's gonna answer for a lot that has been basically alleged on him for stealing so much. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with this Buhari's era. There's so much corruption that we can't even begin. We don't even know how to begin to count it. I don't even know, one man. As in, how are we supposed to deal with another APC, one man? How one man? How are we supposed to deal with another APC?
Well, a different APC, not another APC, a different APC.
No, it's still the same party, one man. Don't say different
No,
APC.
different personnel though, different personnel.
I don't believe in that, one man. If PDP has ruled us and we keep trying to change the people, think that they're gonna be different, and nothing have changed. So what makes, how many years now that PDP ruled? And we keep
but then are you saying we should go back to PDP?
No, one man. There is the scenario. PDP have ruled.
Right.
4 years. 4 years. We thought, okay, let's give the Obasanjo another chance. He tried. Now we know he tried. You get. Before then, we were like, he's corrupt. He's a murderer and all that stuff. And we're like, okay, let's give John Yar'Adua a chance. He might, he's a different person. He might do something. Then we gave them a chance. He tried. Then Jonathan came. Okay, Jonathan has been a governor from VP. He came to governor. Basically all the posts he came on top. He was a VP. So we're like, oh well, this guy has tried in Bayelsa and all that stuff. Let's give him a try. Still the same PDP. He came and ruined the whole thing. And now we went to APC. We like, okay, Buhari don't do 4 years. Well, let's try and give him another chance again. He came and fucked it up. Sorry about my word. In fact, finished Nigeria to the brink of, I don't even know where Nigeria is right now. And we are saying, okay, let's try. As in, we're trying to basically make the same mistake, looking for another, a different result. How is that even possible?
There's anything outside of Omoyele Sowore being president, it will be the same mistake. Because hold on, because Peter Obi is PDP, Kwakwanso is also PDP, Atiku Abubakar is PDP, and Tinubu at least is APC. So you have 3 PDP candidates and 1 APC candidate, and then Sowore. So if you want change, then you go for Sowore. Otherwise, whoever else you vote for is still the same thing.
Oh man, it's not the same because it's different. It's different.
Peter Obi is not
One man,
PDP.
you're very correct in what you just said.
Peter Obi is not PDP. It's Peter Obi
Just
not
like
PDP.
even in Labour Party, Ken Otokonkwo was in APC. Doyin Okupe was in PDP, and they
he was even arrested for corruption under PDP. Ruben Abete was arrested for corruption. Don't worry.
Solomon.
Hold on. Just to be clear, we have 3 PDP candidates, 1 APC candidate, and Sowore. So if you want change, then you vote for Sowore.
Kenneth Okonkwo was in PDP, then he moved to APC.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Right? Yeah, he was in PDP. He wanted to be House of Rep member. They kicked his ass. He moved to APC. He joined Labour Party, I think 4 or 3 months ago, right?
Can you imagine?
Go to YouTube. This is a challenge to even obedient. Go to YouTube. The same thing that Kenneth Okonkwo did, the vociferous manner, the loquacious manner he speaks now. Go and see how he had he was MC, I think on 3 different occasions for Buhari and Tinubu. Go and see what he said about Tinubu. See what he said about Buhari himself as MC. So these guys, except like one man just said, we say we want paradigm shift. We want a new order, right? There's no way you want a new order. You stick with the old order. One of the like PDP Light, PDP Pro Max.
Okay. I keep saying, it's just the baby like the new politicians that are just being embracing this OB movement. The people that just came on board this year, like from May, that the ones that they would be deceiving with Labour Party. But if you've followed the political space right from time, you will not be pushed. You will know that it's only Sowore that is the sense among them. Yeah.
I'm not against anybody supporting Sowore. I've never been against it. I've never been against anybody supporting any other party. But when people tend to gravitate towards the old order, that it's obvious.
Yeah, but are you not listening? What people are saying to you is that the person you support is the old order. A senior member of the old order as well. Okupe was just sentenced for fraud. Peter Obi had been in PDP for 15 years. So are you saying that? Are you saying the 15 years that Peter Obi was in PDP, it no longer counts because he left it 6 months ago? Is that how it works?
I'm not saying that. I remember what my principal said. That during the time of Pharaoh and the Egyptians, God did not go and start looking for fresh people to rescue the Israelites. What he did was to pick among even Moses was bred and brought up by Egypt, by an Egyptian king. You get? And God came to Moses and told them to go and lead my people. You have to lead these people. Even though Moses was an Egyptian, half Egyptian, half Israelite.
Did Moses reach the promised land?
No. Listen.
Moses, so that is the same thing. When we restart to one of these old guys, they will not take us to the promised land. So why are we wasting our time with
Listen, Ajali Koko. Peter Obi is not gonna lead you to the promised land. I'm telling you the truth. Peter Obi is gonna take you out of the Egyptians, the slavery
and take us to Brava.
No.
Why didn't you take another Brava?
Let me finish.
promised land.
I know we all read Bible.
The promised land is still not the Kanu Brafa now.
Where was his vision? Where was his vision?
Is it not Unwa the Kanu Brafa that is the promised land?
You say show us his achievement. You'll be saying he bought laptops.
Obi is taking us to Shiloh.
Obi is taking you to Shiloh.
No,
that a dog guy. Don't make no cause Nnamdi Kanu here.
We are basically saying that he's from the old order. And I'm trying to use an analogy to explain it, but you guys are making fun of it. I'm saying that Obi is not going to take you to the promised land. I've never told you that everything's going to be rosy when he comes. He's going to set...
So that we're going to go on the same journey.
But Moses brought people from Egypt, and the only place, the destination was promised land.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on, Dad. So
is it not promised land that Moses was taking these people out?
Yes.
Okay. Now he will take us. He will take us to Nigeria, and he will take us to where wilderness.
No.
Okay. So so you know that the Jew, the journey that they're supposed to have traveled like maybe 6 years or how many, maybe 6 months. You know, it took them 40 years before they did the first. So are we going to follow Obi the same way?
Okay, now this is the reality.
Since you can't take us, hold on. Since you have said it yourself that he cannot take us to the promised land, so we're going to follow that same journey another 40 years, right? Before we reach the promised land.
Let me tell you a story.
I know they follow that kind of. I know they follow that kind man.
I don't even know when Obi Thomas is.
Listen up, Ajali Koko. If you are on an assumption that Nigeria is gonna be like United States in your lifetime, I'm sorry, you're dreaming. You're widely dreaming. You're gonna die. Your kids are probably gonna be old before Nigeria will come.
No, forget all of that now. Why are you always using all this ludicrous analogy? Nobody has any expectation of it.
It's not an analogy.
Do you imagine that anybody imagines that Obi is going to suddenly turn Nigeria into anything?
So that's
what people are saying.
That is what everybody is saying. That people
then you're not understanding it. They are saying that Peter Obi is already Egypt, so he cannot take us anywhere other than to look us around the garden to bring us back to where we were already.
Egypt.
So nobody is expecting him to turn Nigeria into America. And nobody is suggesting
that. Peter can't be Egypt. Egypt is a country.
Is the analogy? Hold on, Ajale Koko. Is the analogy you are using, isn't it? So Egypt is the old guard in Nigeria, the old rotten system. Is Peter Obi? Hold on. Is Peter Obi part of the old rotten system in Nigeria? Yes or no?
No, he's not.
It's not. All right.
He's not.
But why are you using that analogy of Moses? What are you talking now?
Listen to me very carefully.
And then
I feel like you guys don't know Bible.
And then
the thing is that your logic dictates the purpose of even what you are trying to preach here already. Because you are using some biblical stuff.
Enigmatic.
So Obi is not the part of the old God.
Hold on, one of the. You heard him say that to Olabi, that Obi is not part of the old God. I'm not sure even if we can listen anymore.
The thing is, I am also supporting Obi, but this is your analogy.
Exactly, woman.
Not work.
So, yes, as you are saying now, Obi cannot take us to the promised land. So
no, but the promised land.
Hold on. So this your analogy now is contradictory to what Obi is telling us, particularly on his campaign from consumption to production. So you are
okay. Listen, Ajali Koko.
Yeah,
hold on, everybody, please. Let Ajale Koko land this point. You address that point and land where you are, Desmond, and then I want to move on because we don't want to have a long session today. But but Ajale Koko, back to you. Yeah.
So Obi is telling us that he will change us from consumption to production, meaning that we will be taken out from non-productive, Egypt, where we are, non-productive country,
to the promised land,
a product country, a country that will be healthy, a country that will work for all of us. That is what this man is saying. But you, as one of the strongest supporters of this man that I know, because for you to put down your money to say this man will win a particular state, it shows that you are not just a supporter, you are ardent supporter of this man. You support it with your whole heart. So there's you are contradicting Obi. So where do we what who do we believe?
Okay, now,
Do we believe you or believe Obi?
Now, Ajali Coco, let me answer your question. I am a very strong supporter of P2B. Am I in any way gonna lie to myself? I've never lied. The worst thing a man can do is lie to himself. That's why sometimes when people say some things, I laugh in this platform because I see them lying to themselves, which is the worst thing ever. It's even worse than killing. See, I've never said that I'm not an Obi supporter. And I've never said that I don't believe Obi will do better than Tinubu or Atiku. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Obi might have come out from PDP, which the analogy is Egypt, right? He might have been bred by the Egyptians. But if you watch the life of Moses, if you read the Bible very well, even though he was basically the son of Pharaoh, he lived his life righteously. He lived his life in a good way. That is why God chose him to lead the people out of the slavery, lead the Israelites out of the slavery they were suffering to the promised land. Now, what did Moses do? He lead them. He was leading them. Although he couldn't make it with them to the promised land, they achieved a lot. They achieved a step towards that promised land. They were heading there. They know they were progressing towards the promised land. He wasn't leading them to the desert, or he wasn't leading them to go and die. He was leading them to a better destination, and which is a progressive state. So now what I'm saying is, this is what P2B is going to do. I'm not saying it's going to magically turn Nigeria into, it's going to magically bring Nigeria and dump them, and Nigeria will become like America. I've never said that. That is, if I say that, then I'm lying to myself. What I'm saying is that P2B will make Nigeria better than it is in 1999. That is what I'm saying, Ajali Coco.
All right, brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you, Des. So let's go from you, Des, for reasons of time, and let's go in the direction of our DOJ. So DOJ, Merry Christmas. To the narrative, then Malam Buhari finally responds to Nnamdi Kanu and saying that it's not at all amused. So what are you then making of that response? Oshibajo assures us that he has a sense of humor, and I'm somewhat disappointed that he did not laugh it off. But then what are you making then of the Aboki insisting that it's not Jubril from Sudani, that is just a cattle herder from Daura?
Thank you, woman. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's good to be here tonight. For me, I just think Buhari is just trying to be funny. He's already been flogging the guy for several months since he's been brought back from Kenya and locked up. To me, that's flogging on its own. And I don't think he can get flogged more than that. What he has been there for so long, and mentioning that, I think he's just trying to him saying talking about that Jubril aspect. I think he's just trying to make us know the things that Nnamdi did. Part of the things Nnamdi did that really hurt him. That's part of one of those things. I think it's just a way of painting that picture. That imagine this guy saying all this, painting this picture. Now I feel like flogging him, but I think he's already flogged him already, and he's still receiving the beating. And only God know when. Maybe after the election he will be out. But I don't see him releasing that guy. And we just say, oh, it's because of that. It can't be. It's not because of that. You can't be a ruler or a leader somewhere and you just have somebody that want to tarnish your image and disrupt things instead of it to be focusing on other things. They're just causing havoc here and there for you. So there is no way he will be happy with the guy. Even the guy, if the guy is not even Igbo, look at what they did to Oshibani. Because I can see some people really relating it to Buhari hating the Igbos and all that. I think it's just that because if you are in charge of something and you can just send somebody is trying to just disrupt your government, disrupt the order that you are trying to make, obviously, if you have power, you will want to use it to suppress them. And I think that's what he has done. And just talking about that Ibrahim is just to like pinpoint part of the things that really hurt him that Nnamdi did. So that's how I see that. Hello, woman. Woman is probably
sorry. I was talking and I didn't know I had muted myself. I was saying to the Emefiele space, arrest on site the order from the DSS and even some organizations writing to the Interpol to arrest this guy and extradite him. So what are you making of that space? Because, of course, if they are accusing him of funding terrorism and financial improprieties at the CBN, so those are not new spaces that there's now this immediacy and urgency to incarcerate him. So what are you then making the end of this hunt for the CBN governor?
When they come up with all this, their gimmick, we know what is playing. Obviously, Emefiele is not balling and they need him to ball. So they need to call him to order by getting hold of him and showing him how powerful they are, what they can do to him. I'm sure if they want to find something on that guy, they will obviously get something on him. He's not a straight guy himself. So he needs to ball and they need to call him to order. I think that's all. It's just politics that is playing. If they will take it up with him and get something on him to convict him, we'll see. If they will make him bend and we see some changes in the new laws of withdrawing and deposit and all that, we will see. But obviously, when they call people like that into order in that country in that manner, you can tell they need that guy to ball. So if he's going to ball or succumb. But now, what is really strange to me about the whole story is we can't really even believe them that he's in Nigeria because it's not, I don't think they are certain about him being in Nigeria. That part is not that clear. You can't really say with the way they've, from what you read, with the way they said, whether he's in Nigeria, he came in secretly. If the Interpol and everybody's looking for him, how can he manage to come in secretly and nobody saw him?
Yes, I mean, which airport will, unless they went through Seme-Boda.
That's even a bad reputation on you people. You've put people in Interpol and everything everywhere, but you're still telling us he has come in secretly. How manage?
He have a helicopter, he have a private jet, so
yeah, but they still have to
land somewhere.
They will come into the house.
He can dress like a woman. So I beg.
Dress like a woman.
A woman.
And
From
go
where?
through immigration and everything.
I wonder. These people know what they are doing. Don't be surprised. Apparently, from the initial story, the guy actually was with Buhari. They went on a US trip together. So you want to tell me they won't talk about all this? And they won't have said something about it. It's probably gone with Buhari to go and probably pid or appease him on what they say is going to happen. So these people know what they are doing. They are playing. You can never know the full details until you have somebody. If you have somebody in toto there that have the right, so that's when you get the real information from these guys. You can't know it all. They always play games. Sometimes it's just mind game. Sometimes they know what they are doing. But we see another picture. The way they would do it, they paint another picture to the common Nigerians. So if you have it until you have somebody into it, they now tell you what's going on. That's when you'll be like, wow. Imagine, So what these people are doing, when they say cabal, those are the things that happen. There is a lot of things going on in that country that a lot of people don't even know about. So all these things happen. They plan, they play games. You can't be with Buhari a week ago, and the following week they are already, and you didn't return from that trip, and they are already looking for you, putting Interpol everywhere. So they all know what game they are playing. So I believe he's not balling, and they need him to ball. So they need to call him to order to let him know that yes, we can deal with you if you want to deal with you if you are not careful. So that's the way I say it.
All right, brilliant. Well put. Thank you, DOG. Stay with us. So let's go on from DOG to Enigmatic Hondi. Enigmatic Hondi. So we kick it off from where we kicked off with DOG. So now, wayward from Abia State, it looks as though he has finally gotten the attention of the headsman from Daura, but a little too late. But he was saying he was not amused all along with this Jubril at Sudani narrative. But does that show a lack of humor in Buhari? And do you think that somewhat it added to the reasons why he then sanctioned the renditioning of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya? So Buhari responds to the Jubril narrative. What says you, Enigmatic?
Yeah, typical of Buhari. Buhari, I believe he was just being conservative with some words. If were to be some, maybe other politicians, somebody like Dino Melaye or stuff like that, those, even Kenneth Okonkwo, that guy that can say, I had to watch his video again when he was referring to the way he lampooned Solo. I was shaking my head. So if it were to be someone like that, he would probably use all the adjectives and phrases in this life to describe Nnamdi Kanu. You understand that there's no love lost between Nnamdi Kanu and then Buhari himself, not even speaking by extension to the Southeast and the Igbo generally. Go and look at videos or go and check out videos where Nnamdi Kanu's name was mentioned. Wherever you see Buhari in the action, you will see that that irritating, body language, irritating countenance from Buhari. He, of course, and that was it speaks volume to the fact why he's not even releasing Nnamdi Kanu now, when even the top elderly men from the Southeast visited him. I believe what he had in his mind was that, where were you guys when this guy was running right, was running his mouth all over globally, tarnishing my image. I believe he crossed the line in Buhari's mind eventually when he started that parroting the narrative of that Jubril whatever, that he was cloned, because almost, except people who can really reason beyond beyond the facade of their intellectual imagination, wouldn't believe what Nnamdi Kanu was saying then. And I can say more than 80%, if I'm trying to be conservative, of that space believed that narrative, who line and sinker, that Buhari was dead, and then the clone.
A lot of the diehards there, they still believe it till today.
Up to now. So when you look at that, and then when you want to marry that with Buhari's personal hatred, probably personal, issues with them in the Southeast, then he would probably say, okay, this guy is the scapegoat, and then whoever is thinking he's going to release Nnamdi Kanu, they should just forget it. Like Wike would say, foul. This guy is going to be there until he's going to be he's going to be part of the handing over document that will hand over to the next administration. So, like you just basically said, it will bring like a victory for the next administration to make a clear negotiation with the Southeast leaders, and then they will release him at that time. But he's not coming out anytime soon. He's been flogged. He's still being flogged, and then that's basically what Buhari was saying. He meant every word. Buhari is very conservative. He doesn't speak much, but when he says some certain things, take them seriously. He meant it to the letters. Yeah.
Do you think Nnamdi Kanu would have lost his mojo from this? Do you think this experience, what he has gone through now, the renditioning, the incarceration, and all of this, and of course now this guy from Norway taking his
Simon
spot?
Ekpa, right?
Yes. Do you think Nnamdi Kanu, do you think he would have been cowed by this experience? Because a lot of the preening and peacocking, he has been demythified, hasn't he, really? With the way he was just plucked out of thin air and just thrown into prison like a pickpocket.
That is 50-50, but you can say to them, but power is, power is can be very intoxicating, right? Of course, he will probably want to challenge Simon Ekpa, and Simon Ekpa will be so, if even he had to relinquish the power to Nnamdi Kanu, he will probably have to be very, not too generous, probably very, reluctant to do that. So that being said, Nnamdi Kanu himself, with the way it is now, I just want to believe that 60% or at least 60% of even the people from the Igbo land doesn't want him out because they believe he's gonna, further escalate the security situation in the southeast. Because the concern of some,
Enigmatic. Sorry.
yeah,
I have a quick question. Do
yeah.
you feel they will release Nnamdi Kanu without reaching some agreement with him signing up, trying to restrict him from doing some things that may give them opportunity to arrest him if anything escalates? If you get what I'm trying to say, I don't
Of
think they will
course.
just release him to be free like that. So I think that might actually affect his movement, and he might actually have to lay low and look for other means to go about it.
No, DOG, I would just say this is a subjective legal opinion, right? No responsible government, no responsible president will release somebody like Nnamdi Kanu with no conditionalities under the law. Even Showore that is probably, that is quite amenable and less divisive than Nnamdi Kanu. You saw what they did to Showore. They'll probably don't be surprised if they have to release Nnamdi Kanu. They will probably restrict him to house arrest. As worse as it could be, as worse as that. So, but by and large, right? Do not forget that most of these folks, too, regardless of how hardened Buhari could be, right? What we are not privy to when it comes to security intel, they have those, right? And then they would see that from the southeast, from the Igbo land, top politicians will be tasked. It will be are not probably really willing, that this guy should come out now, and they can see it. When the news broke that Nnamdi Kanu was to be released, one man, we were all here. What was the body language? What was the reaction of all the obedience on the platform? One man.
They didn't want him out.
They didn't want him out. They never wanted him out. So now that is just a microcosm of a sector of the southeast. So you can imagine the political space. You understand what I'm saying?
One other question from what you just said now. Do you think the way Nnamdi has been there for that long, do you think if the Igbos, the Igbo elites and the Igbo leaders are really rally around the guy trying to get him out? I know there was a time Romans did one section that I think somebody went to visit Buhari about Nnamdi Kanu or something.
Yes, Pa Amechi, he's dead now. Yes,
So do you think if they really rally around the guy at the earlier stage and they really stand with him, maybe the case he might have been out by now?
I don't think so. Let me tell you why. I think I mentioned it earlier. There are some corresponding countenance of the top leaders in the southeast will be parallel to some actions of Buhari administration. Regardless of what we think about Buhari, right? Compare and contrast.
Look at this guy.
No,
Enigmatic.
why did you know that?
Ó fẹ́ já wọn lọ́rẹ́.
I leave them now. Christmas, leave them. They don't disturb us now.
Let them open their toys and what did you get them? Some electrical something, Abi?
No be them. Now only one I get.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on.
I never reached that level.
Don't worry. You have to space it out. Enjoy him first, and then the next will come. Yeah. Carry on.
So what when you look at the compare and contrast, right? The Sunday Igboho space when he started his agitation as against when Nnamdi Kanu started his, you will notice that even top politicians from the Southwest, why do you think they hate Tinubu today? Why do you think they hate a lot of politicians in the Southwest, like Akeredolu, almost all the governors? Because they believe they were not buying into that. And an average Yoruba person, probably 4 out of 5, right, probably was against the Yoruba nation. Then compare that to what was happening in the Southeast. So it was like a whole lot of them, went into that. They went to the rabbit hole with Nnamdi Kanu. He was on the platform. He created a lot of movement until it became too big to control. So they will see the optics. So if you are telling Buhari to say, Buhari, can we make an agreement? Can we make a deal? This is my last wish before I die. Can you release this guy for me? Buhari in his mind will be saying, he's a military man, right? The reason beyond Buhari may look dumb and stupid to you. It's not. He's a military man. There are some certain trainings that you have that you just have to project what will happen or what has happened. So in his mind, he will say, "Where were you guys when this guy was running all over the world? Causing a division in this part of the country." So even though you want to support him, there are some certain things that you will do. So in that capacity, he wouldn't release Nnamdi Kanu. Let them go and bring. If they have a pope, let them bring the pope. He wouldn't release him because he crossed some certain lines. And then he has gone too far. And then the leaders, when they had the opportunity to tame that, right? That was the reason I used that proverb, right? When you bring home stuff like that, you should expect lizard. So he was waiting for them that eventually it will happen. So and that was he was waiting for them that definitely they will come for a negotiation, and then this will be my position. So they waited too long. They gave Nnamdi Kanu all the ammunition, like quote unquote ammunition now to run roughshod over the Nigeria space, and then it was too late for any government to accommodate that kind of shenanigan. But under the law, it is quite debatable. You can challenge it on several grounds, which is probably why they are in court now. The rendition, of course, under any circumstances legally, is basically null and void. But the government is doing their thing. And then that's why they're in court now. But Buhari wouldn't have released him. If I was Buhari's shoes, I wouldn't release him either, because they let him, they allowed him to fester to that level. So to call him back, do you know the population of IPOB and Biafra worshippers all over the world now? So
it's quite crazy. It's quite
crazy, bro. So take IPOB and the Biafra space out of Obi support.
Enigmatic, can I interject?
Yes, sir.
So I think I'm against your position here that the Eastern leaders allow Nnamdi Kanu to fester. Because of that reason, you will agree with Buhari not to release him now. They didn't allow him to fester. What was responsible for that Nnamdi Kanu IPOB's strong position in the East was because a lot of people, particularly the young ones, 8 or 9 out of youth strongly believe in that IPOB. And they were the one So they overwhelm their political leaders. They overwhelm even the authority. Nigerian state saw that and sent military over there to kill them. We saw what happened. So it wasn't that the leaders, political leaders, traditional leaders did not play their role well. They did, but they were overwhelmed. And Nigerian authority was overwhelmed as well. And they used, brutality. They went,
and that's why I speak to the legality of the actions of Nigeria's government. Of course, I just spoke to that space. But did you see any vehement repudiation from any sector of the political leaders in the Southeast? Do you know what happened this morning? Was it this morning or yesterday on Twitter? Are you following it? There was a Twitter space where a Twitter space was created. People woke up, and then the situation happening in Southeast now, the ESN, all these things burning up, arson and everything being committed, and Simon Ekpa. Do you know people woke up and the person they could blame for that was they were blaming Tinubu and APC, that Tinubu was the one behind Simon Ekpa sponsoring him. So when it festers beyond this now, right, they would have gone the rabbit hole before they make a U-turn. So when you make a U-turn, who would you blame at that level? How would you wake up and say somebody, APC is sponsoring Simon Ekpa? Is Simon Ekpa not an offshoot of Nnamdi Kanu? So when you look at all these imbalances and you look at all the quietness, deafness, the deafening,
If you allow me to come in here, please, I would have said something.
You understand this, body languages. Peter Obi is a major candidate in this electionary process. Has he said anything up as I'm speaking now to say anything against IPOB? At least we've seen what Soludo has been doing. Has Obi done anything? So when you want to actually balance this equation, you can probably say these leaders are complicit by their actions or inactions. Hi, my brother.
Come in.
What I want to say is this, naturally, sorry to use this word, sometimes this truth always hurt people. The people of the eastern part of Nigeria, they always blame others for their problem. If you look at the history of this country, for them, they have never created any problem. Every problem that they discover or they want to talk about in Nigeria, that is created by Yoruba or is created by Fulani. So it has been their way of saying things. So don't let that one be something that will be surprising to you. Like for me, I'm supporting Peter Obi. There are complex issues here. The Southeast has degenerated to a point where if you speak anything against IPOB, they will go and burn your house. They will ransack your family. They will destroy everything. So that's why you see their leaders, they don't want to talk much about this problem. And it's a very complex issue. I do understand that Nigeria government has failed as a government. Things are not working the way we expected it to be. But Southeast is not the only region in our country. And it shouldn't be like that. That is my own take on it. Because they need to stop what they are doing. They are only hurting their people. If tomorrow other tribes decide to leave Nigeria and say, we don't want this country, we feel it cannot work. But we hope it works for everybody. And we will be proud of our country. But if other people decide to leave, they will leave. His own people, they are killing their own people. They don't even have space. People can't go back home and enjoy that holiday they call 1 December again now. When are they going to feast their land? So it's a challenge for them. And I think, and I pray hopefully that like what illustration this guy was making, indeed Moses was raised in Egypt, but God found him and God also used him to set a journey for his people. And I believe God will also bring that paradise to us in Nigeria, or irrespective of our region, whether through Obi. And that is what I believe. Because it's a very complex issue at this moment. Why people are supporting him, we are not seeing the Igbo leaders coming out to support their own. They don't even have political strategy to say, because the Fulani you call fools, like one man show here, at the point we need to look at these people. The way They set up politics. You think they will not release Kanu before the election? They will do. But is it going to affect Peter Obi? It's going to affect him negatively. Then he will be forced to speak. If they release him and perhaps he lose the election, where will they start from again? So there are strategies behind everything. Even a Emefiele that is running, Emefiele will continue to run, but they are going to lay hand on him, because if you look at all of them, nobody is running the country for the interest of the people any longer. For me, I don't see Buhari as a bad president. Economically, he's one of the best presidents that has ever ruled this country. He ruled this country in a time where things were very critical. He gave money to the governors, and the constitution says you should not ask. Obasanjo is the one that's supposed to change that constitution. So they gave them immunity. What do you expect Buhari to do? I thank God today, no state can rise up and say, oh, my allocation was not given to me because I'm not in APC. But during Obasanjo, it happened. Even Tinubu got nothing. If not because Lagos was rich, there's no way Tinubu would have run Lagos. So we have been seeing it. Even during Jonathan time, there are some states that were suffering. But Buhari didn't do anything like that. He kept on giving them allocation that they did not pay during Jonathan. Jonathan is from Niger Delta. The 30%, it was a problem. He went there and started paying these people. None of them even opened their mouth to tell us apart from this wicked. So it's to tell
you know something, Midwest. He's even paid them backlogs at the 13% from that they did not receive under Jonathan. He's paid them backlogs even.
Yes, he paid them. So that is to say, if Edo State children doesn't have primary school, it is Governor Baseki, not Buhari. If your people in Ondo or whatever state you come from, your governors are the one eating your money if you don't have hospital. But the man cannot ask. The constitution said he cannot ask. What do you expect him? Like a Emefiele, these guys are waiting for him. This guy policy is politically motivated. He has no benefit for Nigerians, for the common man. We don't have electricity. We don't have internet. Who is going, like a poor man that will really take like 200,000 from his village, get it to bank. I want to change to the new currency. No, put it in account. You can't take it back again. You imagine. Then you put it in the account, and maybe it took this man 4 or 5 days to locate that city. And then he will not go back empty-handed with small something that cannot enable him to feed. When will he come back? The common man feelings and problem is none of their concern. All they want is to send their children abroad, send them to UK for school, Brazil for school, and they keep on. Even the Nigerians that you are telling that they steal a lot of naira. This guy, when they take this money, they change it automatically to hard currency. They are not fools. So how is it going to affect us? For me, the Southeastern people is 2 options. Either they release Kanu, just give him his brefa, his 5 Eastern states, simple. And let him go.
That's not going to happen now. What is that?
They give it to him. Why all this noise?
Look at
my brother. See, someone is.
Hold on, Midwest. Hold on. They can't just give him. What are you talking about? Firstly, hold on now.
They don't want Biafra.
They want Nigeria now anyway.
They want to take back Nigeria from Biafra now.
Yeah, but
they've taken it to the zoo. They are trying to bring it back from the zoo.
That's hold on. They can't give him Biafra. Firstly, who is he that they will give anything to? Nobody appointed him.
He's the supreme leader. He has his follower worldwide.
So they can't give him that one. And then if they allow Biafra, then that means that country breaks up. Because
if he break, let everybody go their way.
So that's it then, isn't it? So then
no
longer
Mama, let me throw this one.
Just give him Biafra now.
One man. We have been on this game for, if you look at our history. Now, the problem I have with these guys is that as far as Nigeria's problem is concerned, they never created any problem. It's either Yoruba or Edo people is bad or Hausa is bad, Fulani is bad. The same Fulani you are saying is bad. When you look at the suffering in the country, common Fulani is suffering. They are dying. The number of Fulani that they are killing every day is more than one they kill in Southeast or even in the Yoruba land. They lost Emma. They lost prominent chief. Their women cannot go to farm. This is a national issue. Only the president mishandled it. So we cannot just pin it to one particular ethnic group based on hatred or whatever. This is what I hate. And every issue, when you present it before they must point to somebody else. Now, what is going on in Southeast, you want to blame Yoruba for that? When people have been campaigning hatred for good 13 years, they have parents. So you think that thing will not bring fruit? They are just reaping the fruit. This is just the beginning.
All right. Hold on. Midwest. I want to read something to you. It's called the true Scotsman's fallacy. The true Scotsman fallacy. So it says, no true Scotsman or appeal to purity is an informal fallacy in which one attempts to protect their universal generalization from a falsifying counter-example by excluding the counter-example improperly, rather than abandoning the falsified universal generalization or providing evidence that would disqualify the falsifying counter-example. A slightly modified generalization is constructed ad hoc to definitively exclude the is too worthy, but what the true Scotsman fallacy is, it will boil it down into layman's terms. There's something called the true Scotsman's fallacy. So in that fallacy, it is some sort of self-denial fallacy. So there's a Scotsman who believes that a Scotsman can do no wrong, that a man from Scotland, because they're so righteous and so pious that they can do no wrong. So he goes round the world, and anytime he sees any wrongdoing, he will turn his nose up and say, no, a Scotsman would never do that. A Scotsman would never do that. So one time, he then happened on a situation that was so egregious and so bad, but then the person that actually did this really evil thing was a Scotsman. And there was no doubting that it was a Scotsman that did this really evil thing. So this guy was, this Scotsman, he was caught in a quagmire, in a mental flux, because his worldview was then challenged at that spot. So this very bad thing was done by a Scotsman. So then he could not really countenance it that a Scotsman would do this bad thing. So he then immediately concluded that even though this guy is a Scotsman, is not a true Scotsman, because no true Scotsman can do this. So with that, then he has a universality on his prejudice. So he continues to believe that a Scotsman cannot do any bad thing. And then when a Scotsman does a bad thing, he will just then cancel that person out of being Scottish and say it may be a Scotsman, but not a.
It's not British. It's not longer. No, it's not. It's not Englishman.
So that is sort of how I see the Southeastern space. They seem to, in their head, think they are some sort of Puritan space, and any bad done is somebody else. It cannot be them. It's always somebody else, and that's a true Scotsman fallacy.
I agree with you 100%. Until they treat this issue on their own, they are going to find themselves in a total mess, because this thing you are watching, a lot of people are going to exploit it. Smart people that hate them, but you that always say true to it, they will come to you and say you are the one causing this problem for us. Okay, look at the general Southeast as a whole that the British put together. It will be difficult for other ethnic nationality that fall within that space to even discuss anything with these people. Apart from they will be the one from their own space and be telling other people you are like this is who you are, this is how you do things, you are the bad person, they change you, they divide us, they do this. But here we are, the western part of Nigeria, the whole one where the British still use force they put together. No matter the differences, the way we narrate our history, the way we talk to ourselves, when it comes to things that is important, we can still sit down and talk. The chances is more than 80 or 90%. So, because why? The Yoruba don't come and blame us for everything. We don't also blame them for everything. But that very part portion of Nigeria is the rest of Nigeria that are bad. And they have been preaching this for the past 10 years. And their elders did not see the consequences of the actions of their children. And then they are reaping it. But I pray that Peter Obi win. I'm still supporting him. But my pain is that I am not seeing any single political strategy on the politicians from the Southeast to support their brother. There are people that can remain in one party and from that party campaigning for somebody, supporting the person strategically. All of them is part of politics. These people don't even have it.
But bro,
everything just like
let me challenge you on this space, right? Because you are speaking to the fact that you are not seeing because I think we've on several occasions we actually brought that fact that we've not seen a single top guy, quote unquote, politically now in the southeast behind this Peter Obi, but they will say, oh, this and this, they will just obfuscate here and there and they will move on. But you are just speaking to that. But look, when you talk politics, right? Politics is like a business proposal. You are looking at what is in it for you before you invest your funds into it, right? So when you have the opportunity to be the one pulling the plug for maybe your organization, and then you are looking at a certain proposal being presented to you, and you are seeing you are seeing no prospects in that, and you are the one who is in charge of making that call, would you proceed?
See, anyway, I can't just, what you are saying makes a lot of sense, but the truth of the matter is this: the politics in Nigeria is more than that. Mostly the current one that is facing us is not a politics of more like ethnic affiliation, my brother, ethnic brothers, and my region. It is my turn. It is me now. Let us be sincere. But nevertheless, in this politics, there are some people or some group of people that are very, very strategized. I will tell you, this Tinubu that you are saying, people are in PDP, they are working for him.
That's a fact.
Just
that's
that one in your mind.
That's the high level of his political reach.
Okay, there are people.
I want us to have this back and forth conversation so that you will not lose track and won't lose track, right? So the question I first asked you is, it was supposed to be a yes or no. Then we can follow up. Now that
it's very difficult to put yes and no there. Okay. I understand where you are trying to take me to.
Okay. Now, when you look at that space now, the Southeast space, right? Tell me one political figure that you believe should queue behind him when he does not see a political prospect in this agitation.
Number one man that's supposed to keep behind him supposed to be the governor from his state, because that one is still having more 4 years in case if anything happens. They suppose, if it were people from the northern part that we always call Mumu, they will always have something to do. So, but when you look at these people, when they only their own interest,
that governor is the one destroying him now. That is the number one person.
Because that governor, if the governor were to support him, that governor will have chance. It's people we elect him, because this guy, they love him or grant as far as that state is concerned. Now that guy have a chance to say, if I follow my brother, I have a lot to gain. So I can take the lead. I need you people support. Even when you are in APC, you are in PDP. Let's play this game. We are not seeing that. That is why I'm becoming so disappointed. But nevertheless, even the PDP they are talking about, there are people in APC, they are working for PDP. We saw it in my state during this last election. You can see how somebody will be in one particular party, whereas it's in another party. But when you look at these people now, where they your face, they just define is very clear. And at the end, now Yoruba, that they go come blame. It must be Tinubu. Now Tinubu now the responsible now. Bro. So this kind of thing, me I don't like it. We need to speak truth to something. You can't be blaming other people for nothing. You can't continue like that.
Bro, now, right? If I will be supporting your political ambition, we must have had a more or less like I must have taken cursory look of even what you are bringing to the table. And you know, this thing transcends just a political cycle. It must have gone back to certain, history, certain relationship, and then that basically we metamorphose and go into several phases. The question again now is that how has this guy now, Peter Obi, been able to play within that space? Look at the politicians. Do you know the circumstances that made him, run away from Abga? Up as we're speaking now, he had issues in Abga unresolved. He left. He ran away. He ran to PDP. He had issues unresolved. He ran away to Labour Party. Then after Labour Party, when he's done, inevitably,
let's see it this way.
What will happen?
Let me quickly throw something to you.
Okay.
When you look at PDP, the current chairman that Wike is pointing to, it was Wike that championed into that place with a hope that it will stand for him to get the ticket. Now, at the dying minute, I tell you, the politics of Nigeria, if you want to define it today, it's just ethnic brothers, religion affiliation, or maybe regional affiliation, or something that connects you with someone. This is the politics we have, clearly. We should not be bending our mouth to say. You can see at the dying minute, that same man, he champion, kick him off for a reason differently. They are good friends. They eat together. They are so affiliated. They know what they have discussed as people. So this is the politics. Now, for we to see ourselves, like for me, even we have seen this politics like this, but I believe the certain people have chances to come together and speak like mature people. But when I look at the way things are being run in that particular, I become so worried. You understand me as a person, even when I'm supporting him and his own people, instead of we to put us together, they are just messing up the whole area and the whole thing for nothing. So we will do our best as people. Like Baba, as I keep on coming here, Baba he merited the position, but his age, he cannot carry this problem. I'm fully convinced. That is my own opinion. It's too much. This is why I keep on respecting him, but I cannot support him. If I wish that ticket was given to Sibanjo at that very particular time, why should I be campaigning for another person? So, but when I look at his age, country we don't even know direction where the country is. You can't even explain the situation we are in Nigeria. So with his age to come, God don't bless and don't enjoy. I beg. I see and say this thing.
I just don't see. I don't
and
see.
That is my own opinion.
Yeah,
my
brother.
Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you, Enigmatic and Midwest. Thank you, Enigmatic and Midwest. But for time, let me go on to Ajanle Koko. But on the way to acknowledge Alexander Akashe's super chat. Merry Christmas to everyone on the platform. Cheers. Merry Christmas to you too, Alexander, and thank you for the super chat. So let's take the conversation to Ajanle Koko and have him speak on the Nnamdi Kanu space. Buhari finally, I thought he was going to pretend like he wasn't even aware or that it was going on, but it was not possible for him not to be aware. But having now won the victory of kidnapping the boy and chaining him to the desk, why is he still acting somewhat vexed that somebody said he was dead and it's Jubril? So Buhari responds, what says you, Ajanle Koko?
Thank you, woman. Greetings to our listeners around the world. Click on the like button, share and subscribe. And Merry Christmas to everybody on the platform. And
Merry Christmas to you, Ajanle Koko. Yeah.
And at the comment section and the listeners as well. In what context did he say it? What was the situation that was responsible for him to make that statement, woman?
Let me just give it to you. It's a very, very short read. So let me just speed through it. It says, during a documentary titled Celebrating a Patriot, a Leader, and Elder Statesman, aired on Friday, December the 23rd, at a private dinner organized by his family to celebrate his 80th birthday, President Buhari said the talk about Jubril was a joke taken too far, which he did not find funny. The president sees the entire rumor as a ploy fabricated to distract Nigerians from the main issues. At the time, the president sees the entire rumor as a ploy fabricated to distract Nigerians from the main issues at the time, which were basically infrastructural development and a good life for the citizens. In his view, some Nigerians have a way of creating humor to dwell due to their lack of understanding. So these are his words. He said, so he was asked, so he was asked about the Jubril space, and this is what he said. So he said, yes, people said I am somebody from Sudan. I did not bother with the name. Nigerians have mischievous ways of explaining themselves. No, it is not funny, because those who made those statements, they just want to be cheeky. They want to distract attention from the main issue. Our main issue is to do with infrastructure, make people aware that they need to work hard to live well. They just want to enjoy life without earning the respect of their community and so on. So that's Buhari then responding to the Jubril at Sudani narrative.
One man, I think he doesn't show leadership by responding at this time. When it was expected of him to respond, to calm everybody down, this guy did not do that, thereby allowing that propaganda, to pester for a lot of people to believe in it. Even Obasanjo said in one video that we watched, you remember that people at High Up were even asking him that is Buhari Jubril?
Yes, I remember that. I remember that. Yes, we did it here. We covered it.
So this man is not in any way should be seen as a real leader. He's very insensitive. It loses touch with situation in the country. It doesn't feel concerned. It doesn't feel bother. It's just we are just very unlucky people to have this kind of man as a leader of that country. So why now? Why now? A lot of people were looking up to him to respond and counter Nnamdi Kanu propaganda then. But he kept quiet. He make it look like real. He was going to hospital every month. So we didn't know what was lie and what was true. So this is just a very, very ridiculous statement. We have gone past that. We don't care about him being Jubril or Sudani. He has already destroyed the country. So what effect will that statement change in the country now? What is he going to achieve with this statement? If he had made that statement back then, he would have achieved a lot. It would have brought stability. He would have countered him immediately. Maybe a lot of killing that happened in the East. The belief in Nnamdi Kanu by those young Eastern boys would have been cut short. They wouldn't have joined the IPOB. But this guy make it look like this is real. He wasn't talking. This is a very bad man for that country, man. What kind of useless people are these that we have as president? Now you have how many months to go? You are not saying you are not Jubril. Even by what he just made now, can even make some people believe more that it's a real Jubril because you are about to leave that office. It's just senseless to me. I mean, it's a very senseless and ridiculous statement to me. I don't, president should speak to achieve results for the nation at every time, particularly at a very critical time that the people looking up to you to speak. This guy did not speak when the killing was going on in Benue State. He didn't speak. A lot of killing was going on. He did not stand up. This is the worst of the worst leader that we have ever had, And we saw the entire leadership in his party could not stop him, could not redirect him, could not challenge him, but rather enable this man to destroy this country. And then you see them still basking and telling us to our face that they have governed the country where they said they gave us the best of the best governance. Nigerians, we should wake up and start to think right. That statement is ridiculous, senseless, and unfortunate to me, woman.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Jale Koko. And to the Emefiele space, this now new urgency for his arrest, even to the point that some organizations are writing to Interpol to arrest him and extradite him back. And what we are hearing, the DSS have alerted that agents to mount all border posts as soon as it comes into effect his arrest. So what's led to this urgency? Because all that they are claiming are things that are historically things that have been levied against this guy. Financial impropriety, and of course we cannot give any credence to funding terrorism. But what's now led, by your reckoning, to this urgency of arrest on site into the point of Interpol being alerted at the central bank governor, Emefiele, wanted dead or alive?
Woman, I don't think there's been any publication to the effect that Emefiele is wanted. There's no government declaration against him as a wanted person or as a criminal. So, and those guys behind that are trying to carry out, what do you call it? Cook up some lies and try to use the courts to achieve their selfish purpose, were defeated by the court. The court did not allow them because the court quickly discovered that they had no evidence whatsoever to prove what they are asking for the courts to grant them. So this issue of Emefiele, I don't really believe in it. I don't think that Emefiele has any question to answer as far as this Buhari administration is concerned. Everything that Emefiele did or is doing at the moment is in cooperation with the politician. So you can see in the recently statements that is not responsible to the legislators on that redesigning of the note, but the president. He said the president has given him a go-ahead, and that is what he will do. So, and we have seen the way he managed the monetary policy of that country. Not to the advantage of the country, but to the advantage of the administration. The ways and means operation that he gave to the administration at all the time against the act that set up the central bank. A lot of things that he did in favor of the administration, which were illegal. So they have a lot of things in common. So, and I don't think that there's anything against him. And according to, I think DAG brought it up the other time, they traveled together to US. How come that when he remained behind for his medical attention, and now they are saying that they are waiting for him to be picked up? Who is going to pick him up? Presidency have not spoken. They have not made any statement with regards to, for any criminal charges against him. So I think it's just some people that are pending this campaign of calumny against that guy to destroy his image because of the policy that he has rolled out with regards to this new note and the other thing that politicians that are not in favor of the politician, some cabal and some power that be in Nigeria, so they want to use everything to destroy his image and then bring him down. So I don't really believe in it, woman. It's just a fallacy and just a nonsensical campaign against him. But it doesn't mean that our support of Emefiele is the worst of the worst central bank governor we ever had. This allegation we are having, or this plan to arrest him, I don't think there's anything that, because if they take out Emefiele on the allegation they are talking about, that terrorism and other things they are trying to cook us against him, a lot of head will roll. A lot of people will go down with Emefiele, because if they want to take him down, that means they have to set up a panel of inquiry that is very, very strong to really investigate him. And investigating Emefiele will be to investigate the account book and record of central bank, and then you're going to see maybe KPMG or this Price Waterhouse or Cooper and what do you call them? Those big accounting firms may have to come and investigate and audit central bank. And doing that, a lot of shady deals between Emefiele and some other politicians will be discovered, and a lot of head will roll. So that's my take, one man.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Daniel Coco. So brilliant.
Baba Josh, Nigeria. How did they get the CGN out when they were done with him? Now would they talk now, Baba.
But some people can push back. Emefiele is not an easy figure too. He's going to have some strong lawyers.
Emefiele to them is just like any other fly, because Emefiele, he has been dining and whining with the. Are you aware he was supposed to?
You are right. You are right. I agree with you. Yes.
So they will just. It's just. America most of you. America and grandparent. Or Temo fún yẹn. And grandparent in Miralago.
They can even use the CBN board to push him out. So there's no big deal. So you don't need this legislator. Just cough some few members.
They want him out, but he's trying to look for a political situation for. They're trying to find a political situation. He's been reaching out to the right folks. The people who actually want him out are the cabals, because he took some decision over them. He went straight to Buhari. So the normal process was supposed to be you will go through the cabal first, then they will discuss it, because they will have to.
Who is that cabal that is stronger than
Buhari? Now Abba Kyari make him stay office now. He was supposed to be
Abba Kyari is dead now.
Abba Kyari is gone now.
Abba Kyari she chef Funtua ni.
But Funtua is dead too.
Ibrahim Gabari.
Mama Daura is the ringleader of that cabal. So,
but he's dead now. He's dead.
No, Abubakar Malame is the ringleader of that cabal.
Mama Daura is still solid.
Yeah.
The only one, Daura is gone, Abba Kyari is gone. But anything that goes, because Emefiele, right? You know, Emefiele has done enough that they should have kicked him out, but they've swept everything under the carpet. These guys have been shielding him, but now that they believe that, you've come to a situation to the level that you have to go straight to Buhari, instead of coming to us first to vet what you have to take to Buhari. Then if what doesn't actually favor us, you can take it out of the list. Then you just went to Buhari straight away. So, and then by even putting his head, because they are linking him with Oba Egbena and Atiku. So it's a tricky political game, and some issues that have to do with Mama Daura disobeying that status quo, the flow of information. So that's what he's dealing with now. And Miralago need that last.
No, I
don't see the 10 generations of CBN governor that will be richer than this guy. I've not seen. He's richer than most political leaders in Nigeria.
Oh yes. His own money is in dollars now. It's not in naira.
So it's just that they are reaching out to some. And Buhari, the problem you have with Buhari will not save you. Buhari is just about Buhari is just about himself. You just face front as if he doesn't care, even if you came direct. Of course, by the provisions of the law, right? He was supposed to be deposing to Buhari whatever he does. But the way Nigeria, anything that has to go through the current chief of staff to Buhari, that Gambari. Gambari must take anything before it goes to Buhari's office. He must take it through Mama Daura's desk before it goes to Buhari's office. So they have to go that route. So when you circumvent that route, then they will kick you. That's what they are doing to Emefiele now.
Well, we see what's going to happen. So, but what I think it will happen is that there are cabals within cabals. So this is just my own opinion. So I believe that if they take Emefiele down, without due process, without going through the due process, I think a lot of he will want to push back. Him and the cabal that are supporting him, we want to push back. We want to use legal means to fight. And Emefiele too, I believe he has a lot of records about those that he has done favor. So he can easily expose them too and then bring them down. That, look, I won't be the only one that will go down. I won't be the only one that should be disgraced. So I favored you guys. Is it because of I've been favoring you for several years? So it's because of this one incident of redesigning the currency and then putting some policy behind it in order to strengthen the central bank and the banking system. Is that why I have to be disgraced? So Cabal versus Cabal fight will surely happen. That's the way I see it. And we have to see Emefiele. Emefiele is not just is connected with international financial body as well, like IMF, like World Bank. So if they have to take him down on the basis of, mismanagement and corruption, then it's going to spell a very bad image of that country. And the IMF will want to know what he has really done, and so that they can continue to have confidence in dealing with our central bank. So our central bank is connected to IMF, is connected to World Bank. It's not solely a central bank that is Nigerian. Nigeria have a total control over, particularly with the debt that we are owing the country. I mean, we are owing the international financial institution. So we are, look, it's more than the way you guys are looking at it. It's going to be very, very tough for that country to just take Emefiele down like that. It's not. The international financial institution will push back too. They want to investigate and audit your record to know what is really happening. So to show confidence to them in
one man, Ajani, sorry. There's nothing those international community can do. I have to tell you the truth. This is an eternal issue. And it's only when we go there to go and say, give us money. That's when they can have right to ask us this and that. As far as this issue is concerned.
Then they will not give you money. You don't have any money to operate now. You don't have any money to function. Then
yeah, but
stop.
no,
we
have money. We have money. It's only under sanction that we cannot access our own money. So they are not going to sanction us. They will pin this man and another Mrs. or Mr. will go there. Just go and mark my word, because this guy has crossed so many red lines. That's what's going to happen. And nobody will question it. Even the president himself, they have secretly sat down the president. They have explained the entire danger to him, the situation. That this man is just deceiving you. He's not a genuine person. If I wish he's a genuine person, they have a lot of things to hold against this man. Go and mark my word. A lot of evidence is coming. You will see it. So this is what I believe.
All right. Thank you, Midwest. Thank you, Midwest, and thank you, gentlemen. So, gentlemen, I want to try and keep it under 3 hours because I want to. Thank you, Midwest. So I want to be rested for Christmas. I think Midwest just said good night. So that's just roundabout apt. So I want to try and keep it under 3 hours because I want to be rested so that I can spend Christmas with my family. So I want to seek to start round off to land on Ajahn Lekoko, of course. Very, very, very brief closing remarks. We only have 4 of us left on the screen anyway, so the thing seems to have come to its no natural end. So Tony, we hear from you, then we hear from Enigmatic, and then Ajahn Lekoko rounds it off. So Tony, to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know that I won't speak, but I just if you can give me 2 minutes, sir. 2 minutes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, sir. For the Jubril case, you know, if this guy has not, if he not get crocodiles for a cupboard, make it Congo speak Fufudi, make go speak original Nigeria Fulani language Fufudi. So because for me, even at a gunpoint, with due respect, I would rather die than to believe that that is a Buhari that we all used to know. You know, then to the Mifele question, you know, the international community, they will be happy when Nigeria is destabilized, you know, so that they'll be happy so that they can come and take our resources. Then all those IPOP people that are denying, you know, that are not helping Obi, you know, at the end of the day, as it was at the beginning, socially be at the end, the Igbo people, they will vote for the Northern candidate in this election. Make una mark my word, because it has always been like that with Amadou Bello, Shehu Shagari, and this time around also, because if you look at this platform or any other platform, whenever you ask them, okay, if you don't want to vote for B or if there's a second round, 99% of people say that they will vote for for Atiku already, you know. So it's going to be like that as it was at the beginning, socially be, you know, at the end. So one man, thank you anyway for letting me in today, because you know that when I was coming to this program, you already know my agenda, that I will never believe that there's our old Buhari, our lovely Buhari, who was a very good man. Thank you, sir. So
all right.
I will, then I will say happy holiday seasons. I will not tell you Christmas because I'm against Christmas. Ever since I got to Germany, when I know that the white people and we are not the same people. So we should start that now to, we should realize that we are not the same. This religion is a colonial master religion. If we want to get free from these people, from the grip of these people, we should stop their religion, both Muslim and Christianity, not for Africa. Thank you, sir. Let us worship our Shango and Olokun. Good night, sir.
All right, brilliant. So happy holiday season to you too. So happy holiday season to you too, as is your want. So happy holiday season to you, but Merry Christmas to Enigmatic, unless of course he finds that offensive too. Enigmatic, closing remarks.
Well, Merry Christmas to everyone and a prosperous New Year ahead. So I wouldn't take much time. I would just say let's marry and let's Jojo, and then we catch up again. Thank you so much.
All right, brilliant. I can already hear from your mouth movement that the merriment and the joy is already happening.
Merry Christmas is happening already.
Hey, look at that.
Kí ló wá múlé lórí? Kí ló wá múlé lórí?
Ẹ wá jẹun, ẹ wá jẹun.
Kí ló múlé lórí? Kí ló múlé lórí?
Ó ti jẹ́ de egun tọ́wọ́ náà ẹ wá jẹun.
Smoothie àti kíní mo kàn mú àti just smoothie and some smoothie, just a simple thing.
Okay, you don't drink alcohol, do you?
No, I don't drink.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. All right.
Yeah. I found
all right. No, because I know you're a devout Muslim. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, you are right. I'm not just a fanatic.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Enigmatic. We'll see you in the next one. So thank you, Enigmatic. And then to round off the festive season, the man with the golden voice this time around, the mighty Ajahn Lekoko.
Yeah, thank you, woman, and Merry Christmas to everybody. And I wish you a prosperous New Year as well ahead of us. So Nigeria, we have to keep praying. Remember Nigeria in your prayer. If you believe in Nigeria, pray for Nigeria. If you believe in Yoruba nation, pray for Yoruba nation. Whatever you believe in next, coming year, what you wish for your country, you wish, but always wish good. So keep that country in prayer. Stability, peace, and tranquility. That is what we want in that country. So once again, I will say Merry Christmas to you, woman. Merry Christmas to everybody at the comment section. And Merry Christmas to our listeners as well. This is Christmas season. We have to say it the way it is. It's Christmas time. Thank you, one man. See you tomorrow.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Ajale Coco. So thank you, Ajale Coco. And there it is. Merry Christmas and a bottle of rum and all that. Ho, 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 and he. So thank you, one and all. So Merry Christmas. I'm glad to say Merry Christmas to everybody hearing the sound of my voice. So that means you've made it to this point in the year, and just a couple of more days, then you see out the year to break in a new one. So God's grace to all of you as you go through this festive season. Enjoy yourself, but be safe. So I'll leave it here, carry the conversation on with you. And thank you to the super chatters, which was Alexander Kashe and Diopol, and of course the coffee buyer who, as ever, is Ayo. So thank you, one and all. So I'll leave it here, carry the conversation on with you in the comment section, but here, say peace.